Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about my opinions on the Goosebumps 2023 series. Very controversial at the time, still very controversial. This thing broke the community for a few months at least, I'd even say longer. And it was so divisive and just all this stuff was happening at the time that I didn't really want to talk about it, but now I feel like things have calmed down. And let's get into my thoughts. We're going to go episode by episode, not spending too much time on each one, but we'll talk about it episode by episode, then give an overall score. So, I have watched this show 2 times now. And I will say, for the first episode, we have Say Cheese and Die, which is the only one, which is one of the ones, that is actually appropriate of that title. And I thought it was meh. I thought that the episode was, I guess, an okay start to the series, but it just didn't really do much for me. It was kind of boring. Jokes weren't landing the way I don't think they're supposed to. I mean, the humping our way to victory line is still infamous for how bad it is. And overall, I think there's great moments in this episode. Like, the football scene is fantastic. But in general, it's not amazing. So, I don't know what to think about this one. There isn't much to say about it, because there isn't much happening. I guess I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. I think the episode's okay, but nothing to be too excited about. Episode 2, however, is where stuff kind of gets more interesting. Here we have The Haunted Mask. This episode was easily the most hated, not just because of the episode's story, but also because of the way the mask looked. And I'll be honest, I, for the longest time, thought that it looked fine. I'll be honest, I did. But I was informed by my friend Completionist not too long ago that this thing was actually supposed to be like an internet troll because she was an internet troll. Holy fuck, that's a horrible idea. This episode was pretty good when I first watched it. Now, I'll be honest, it's gonna lower the score just because of that. And I mean, I'll be honest. I think overrated, but it's gonna get another 5 out of 10. It's not a great episode. But by episode 3, which is Cuckoo Clock of Doom, I think they started to get some things under control. This one has our character, James, I think his name is, who is finally the main star of the show, which is a good thing. I think he's one of the better characters. I don't think he's great, but he, I'll be honest, his acting performance here is actually solid. I think what they did with the Cuckoo Clock is interesting, just doesn't follow, the rules of it. And I wish they would have just stuck with the original Cuckoo Clock. Stop trying to invent new ideas. It's Goosebumps. We came for Goosebumps. Don't want that shit. However, the episode is pretty good. I like a lot of parts of it, and I like the Halloween-ish atmosphere. It's nice. It's nice. It's pretty good. And I also like what they're doing with the plot buildup. So, yeah. Episode 4, Go Eat Worms, is actually really fucking good, though. Alright, that last episode I'd give maybe like a, 6.5, 7 out of 10. This, I'd actually maybe even give a 10 out of 10. This episode is fantastic. Enough said. I can't remember what the character's name is. It might be Luke or something. But he is an awesome character. The episode's effects are actually good. I think that, although I like the original Go Eat Worms story, this just elevates it, makes it better, and honestly, it's really fucking suspenseful and just, has you on the edge of your seat the entire time. One of the best action sequences in all of Goosebumps books, episodes, movies. anything. And it's honestly perfect, I'd say. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Episode 5, however, is our first real big dud. This episode is pretty bad. This is filler. This is a classic example of a TV show not knowing what to do with its extra episodes, and it's just wasting your time. It's boring. Basically, nothing interesting is happening, and although the ending is kind of cool, it's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next? It's like, man, why did we have to wait that long? Just make another fucking story adaptation. Why didn't we have another monster? That would have been cool. I don't know. Not a fan of this one, but, it's definitely not the worst in this series. Episode 6, Night of the Living Dummy, and this is another one I think is just great. I think that this is like a solid 9 out of 10. Enough said. I feel like this episode is very, straightforward. It delivers what you want. Slappy's an interesting character. I like all the stuff with Harold Biddle. And it's really sad how this is a great start to that plot. But it's like, why did we have to get most of the rest of this half of the season? Why couldn't we get better material? So, yeah, this episode has great acting, though. Very cool. I like that it's set in the 90s this time. I think that the needle drop of, like, Radiohead's kind of funny. It's like, okay, I get it. It's like, it's trying to be nostalgic for 90s kids. Give this one a 9 out of 10. Episode 7 and... Oof. Not good. Not good at all. This episode is interesting because it was the last straw I had of having hope for this series. Really. I'm serious. This episode is another filler episode. There's decent stuff happening, but man, it's like we need more to work with here. It's just kind of boring, and the action is not very interesting, and upon rewatch, it's even worse. So, that's gonna get... I'm not even gonna talk about this one, really. That's just gonna get a 3 out of 10. That's fucking bad. It's episode 8, and this one's not bad. This is actually one of my more favorite episodes of the season, for some reason. As it kind of supports as a finale. I don't know why, but it kind of does. It's almost like this show was meant to have episode 8 as the finale, and then just was like, oh shit, we had 9 and 10 left. Made those as well. Episode 8, though, on its own, is actually really solid. I like it a lot. And, it's a great conclusion to this story. I don't know why they had to open it back up with episode 9 and 10. It's fun. I think that it gets the job done. It's action-packed. I think that it's really good. 8 out of 10. And here we have episode 9. What is, in my opinion, the worst Goosebumps anything that's ever been viewed by me. This episode gets a 0 out of 10. This shit is unfucking believably bad. It's shocking to me how you can make an episode that's just so stupid. It has no sense of anything. It's filler again. And there's just so many fucking plot lines that are horrible and we don't need. And yeah, this opens up a can of worms that we already settled in episode 8. It's fucking garbage. This has no reason of existing. It has the, Return to Horrorland issue almost. I mean, slightly different, but it's like, why? We don't need this. This is filler again. Which is really fucking stupid because there's one more episode left. So, yeah, 0 out of 10. Episode 10, we have another really bad episode, which is super sad. Okay, and at this point, I kind of lost hope. I thought that they would never renew this series, as, you know, people were complaining up the ass of Disney. And there was just a lot of things happening at the time that was kind of almost corrupting Goosebumps franchise. So, here we are, and I gotta be honest, it's also, like I said, pretty bad. The conclusion is a more poor version of episode 8 with more action that's just honestly so boring. There's no reason that I should want to watch this. People that like it, cool, you know, that's fine. I just don't like it at all. I think that the entire thing is super boring. In general, it's maybe a 2 out of 10. Fucking garbage. I don't even know what to say about this, besides it's really bad. Sorry that this took so long to come out, but thought that would be a good time, given things have settled a little bit. Plus, on top of that, we were getting a season 2, as you might have seen in my last video. And, well, let's wrap this up. I think that there are things I like. Alright, some actors do a decent job. I really like Justin Long's performance. Very solid. It's kind of nice to see him in another horror property, not to mention Goosebumps itself. So, yeah. There are plots that are really stupid, like the cheating plot, the incest plot. And in all honesty, I'm going to get straight into this, and I'm going to give this thing like a 4 out of 10. Final score for the season. I think that it's honestly kind of like mid, but it's not mid in general. It's a mid score. Alright, because there's great episodes and there's also horrible episodes. So I kind of balance it out and I go, okay, slightly more on the bad side, but it's still kind of meh. Do I recommend it? No. I do not recommend this. This is not worthy of your time. And now that we know that, you know, there's going to be an anthology series route, if you saw my last video, I'll be honest, I don't think anyone who hasn't seen this doesn't need to watch it. Just watch season 2 at this point. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great night.